Have you ever noticed someone who never posts pictures online? No selfies, no celebrations, no updates. In a world that rewards attention, these people almost seem invisible. But psychology says that this behavior isn't random. It actually reveals a lot about their confidence, mindset, and emotional intelligence. Let's break down the real psychology behind people who don't post their photos on social media. 1. Privacy over popularity. Psychologists who study digital behavior talk about something called privacy orientation, the tendency to carefully control what personal information we share online. Researchers like Sabine Trept, who studies online privacy and self-disclosure, have found that some individuals are naturally more protective of their digital identity. They are not antisocial. They simply prefer boundaries. That means they value control over what others see and think about them. They are not hiding. They are choosing what stays public and what stays personal. Think about someone who enjoys a meaningful moment, a birthday, a promotion, a trip, and chooses to experience it fully instead of documenting it. For them, the memory matters more than the audience. While most people seek validation through likes and comments, they rely on self-validation. They don't need to announce their life to feel good about it. And that's a subtle sign of inner security. 2. Strong self-awareness. Research on self-concept clarity developed by psychologist Jennifer Campbell shows that people who have a stable and clearly defined sense of identity rely less on external feedback. In simple terms, when you already know who you are, you don't constantly need others to confirm it. They know their values, their goals, and what truly matters to them without needing external approval. For example, imagine two people achieving something important. One immediately posts it and checks the reactions. The other shares the news privately with close friends and move on. The second person may not be less proud. They just don't need public reinforcement to feel accomplished. This makes them less likely to chase trends or compare themselves to others. Their happiness doesn't depend on how people react. It comes from within. 3. Emotionally secure. Psychologists differentiate between secure self-esteem and fragile self-esteem. Secure self-esteem doesn't depend heavily on attention or praise. It's stable. Research on social media behavior, including studies on narcissism and online self-presentation by Christopher Carpenter, suggests that higher levels of self-promotional posting are associated with greater narcissistic traits. People who post less may simply not feel that need. They don't post selfies to prove their worth because they already feel complete. Psychologists say people with this kind of emotional balance are often less approval-seeking and more focused on real-world goals. 4. Deep thinkers, not show-offs. People who stay quiet online are often more introspective. They think before they speak, and they post only when something genuinely matters. They judge themselves by their own standards, not others. They prefer authentic conversations over superficial interactions. For example, imagine someone at a party who sees everyone taking selfies and posting them immediately. Instead of joining the trend, they put their phone away and have a meaningful conversation with one or two people. Later, they might post nothing at all about the night, but they remember it vividly and feel fulfilled. Or think about a coworker who rarely shares updates online. When they do post, it's usually something deeply personal or meaningful, a project they truly care about, a cause they believe in, or a moment that genuinely impacted them. They aren't posting to impress anyone, but because it matters to them personally. This shows that quiet online presence isn't emptiness, it's intentionality. They focus on depth rather than appearance. 5. They understand the digital illusion. Back in 1954, social psychologist Leon Festinger introduced social comparison theory, the idea that we naturally evaluate ourselves by comparing to others. Social media amplifies this tendency. When we constantly see highlight reels, vacations, achievements, perfect moments, our brain automatically starts comparing. Some people are very aware of this psychological trap. By staying low-key, they reduce exposure to that comparison cycle. They choose peace over performance. 6. Dopamine and the brain. Every like, every notification triggers a small dopamine release in the brain. Over time, the brain can associate posting with the reward. Some people unconsciously become dependent on that loop. Others recognize it and choose not to feel it. Not because they can't post, but because they don't want their mood controlled by notifications. This self-awareness of their own neurological response is another sign of emotional intelligence. Sometimes, yes, it's social anxiety. Not posting doesn't always mean confidence. Research on social anxiety suggests that some people avoid posting because they fear judgment or criticism. They might overthink. What if people don't like it? What if it looks awkward? What if no one reacts? The difference lies in motivation. Are you choosing privacy or avoiding exposure? How to tell which category you fall into? Ask yourself, do I avoid posting because I don't care for validation? Or because I'm afraid of being judged? Would I feel anxious if I posted something? Or simply indifferent? Your answer reveals more about you than your profile ever could. It is a mini story to illustrate. Imagine two friends. One posts every achievement, every dinner, every milestone. The other rarely posts anything. But when you talk to them in real life, the second person seems calmer, more present, less distracted. The difference isn't visibility, it's internal stability. So, next time you notice someone who doesn't post their pictures, don't assume they're shy or unsocial. They might just be more grounded, emotionally intelligent, and self-aware than most people online. They don't feel to be seen or feel seen. In a world obsessed with visibility, silence can be power. And that's real confidence. If you love understanding why people think and behave the way they do, hit subscribe now. Because on this channel, we don't just scroll through people's life, we decode their minds. Before you go, I just want to say something. This channel is still very new and I put a lot of work into breaking down psychology and the way people think. If you enjoyed this video and want to support me so I can keep making more content like this, please like, comment and subscribe. Every bit of engagement really helps me continue decoding human behavior and bringing it straight to you. Thank you for watching, and I can't wait to see you in the next video.